Apologies for the delayed start. We just had a little music mix-up here, so we will get started here in just a minute. All right, welcome to the Ellis Middle School Band Concert. My name is Ethan Wyken. It's so good to see you here for our spring concert. We have one more copy of music on its way. Your students in the jazz band were more responsible than I thought. We had a performance recently. We put all of our music in a box, and the box get back to the band room, and they put their music away from the box, and I thought it was all still in the box. So we had a few pieces of music being run over from Miss Modal from the printer across the street. So we'll get started once we get this copy of piano music with our Ellis Jazz Band. That was William on flute, Bryce on trumpet, and Heather on alto saxophone. This next tune, we played all these tunes recently at the high school Ellis jazz show a week or so ago. This second tune was one of my better band director blunders. Speaking to an audience, I said, "This is the tune Skyfall from one of the James Bond movies. I can't remember which one." And thanks to David Hears for reminding me, it's from the movie Skyfall. So here is Skyfall with Emma Grush singing the part of Adele. 7th graders, if any of you are like, man, I want to join that group, you don't have to do it in 7th grade to do it in 8th grade. So if you want to join up next year, we meet Wednesday morning. So it'd be great to see some of you up here next year. And high school, and 8th graders, you could still do this in high school. Our last tune, Frankenstein, is one we started pretty early. This is probably our biggest challenge of the year. They're doing great with it. Here is Frankenstein. Hey, if there's any students here throwing things on stage completely uncalled for. Yep, there's stands over. We'll grab stands. Oh, can you just put them that way on the piano? That piece was really hard. They did a great job, and I think it was faster than we've ever played it, so that was a lot of fun. Now for a complete change of tone from the band, here is Softly Speaks the Night. If I could work this microphone stand. The big challenge with this one, lyrical playing, slower playing is always a challenge for any band, especially middle school band. We want to play fast, we want to play loud. So this is a great lyrical piece for middle school band. Everyone has a job to do. If you listen closely, there's always something going on. So we worked really hard knowing our role throughout this piece. So here is Carol Burton Chambers, Softly Speaks the Night. And as percussion gets ready for our last one, this last piece is Defying Gravity, written from the musical and movie Wicked, written by Stephen Schwartz. First off, Stephen Schwartz is brilliant. The more we've done this piece, and I've been diving into his thought process on writing music, go check it out. He's a brilliant composer. These seventh graders have been doing a fantastic job, so thank you, families, for all of your support. I am super lucky to have them for a third year next year, because if you remember, I started them in fifth grade, I switched to Ellis, and then I had them again. So I'm really excited to have them again next year, as they are eighth graders and leaders in the music program and in the building. So here is Defying Gravity. We have a quick scene change, and we'll have 8th grade band. All right, we have the 8th grade band in front of you. It has been an honor to have these students for 4 years. Not many middle school band directors who teach 2 grades get to have students for 4 years. So when I switched from Holton to Ellis, they came with me, so they're stuck with me for 4, but it has been a blast working with them every day. We spent a lot of time together for the last 4 years. We did some reflection today in class, and talking about how far we've come, and I have some recordings from when they were in 6th grade, and I did talk to them about this. This is not a surprise, and they voted, and they said, yes, this is fine if you share this with the audience. And so back in 6th grade band, our first piece we played all together as a full band was this piece called Night Ride. I think it's some of the saxophone's favorite song ever, still. So we played this piece called Night Ride back in October of 2022. So that was our first time playing all together as a full band. Nothing against 6th grade band. They made a lot of progress from 5th grade to 6th grade if you compare those recordings. But we're going to hear 6th grade of 2022 compared to 8th grade on their way to high school. So, Mark, if you could play 10 seconds of Night Ride from October 2022. We have a quick instrument change behind me. When I first heard this piece, Into the Dragon's Keep, was last spring. I'm always researching music, looking ahead to next year, got to find new tunes to play. And right when I heard this tune, I knew, okay, the 8th grade has got to play that. It just fits the strengths of the band, and it's a really good goal. They didn't know this was the goal at the beginning of the year, but has a lot of 2 different meters in it, a lot of challenging 6/8 rhythms, so I knew we had to play a more 6/8 meter throughout the year. We did a few times throughout the year, so here is Into the Dragon's Keep. Rosie on piccolo, Bella on horn. This next piece, entitled Fragile, written by Randall Standards, is a part of a series of band pieces, part of the Unbroken Project. The Unbroken Project is a series of pieces written to spark conversation about mental health awareness, and has a lot of good lessons for a lot of ages of band. This Unbroken Project has everything from beginners all the way through upper-level high school. So this piece is called Fragile. Last week, Miss Farron Delaney, the 8th grade guidance counselor, who also has been with these students for 4 years, she switched schools when I did. She came to the class last week. We talked about dove into the meaning of the piece a little bit more. We talked about how us as humans, we like normalcy, we like routine, and any little thing can break that routine and lead to chaos, even the smallest of things, hence the title, Fragile. And she went on to talk to students about healthy ways to cope with stress, cope with that chaos that might happen throughout life, especially as these students go into high school next year. There's going to be a lot of things that might change in their lives. So we talked about how to overcome those certain things in a healthy way. You'll hear in this piece all those things we just talked about that we went over with our counselor, Miss Delaney. You'll hear the piece start really calm. Everything's beautiful, everything is good, and then really quickly it slips into kind of some chaos, and then we come out of that chaos. You'll hear more of the individual coming out of that chaos, but it's really thinly scored at the very end, hence the title Fragile, into that beautiful ending. So here is Randall Standards' Fragile. And our last piece, Incredibles. Not only is it a super fun movie soundtrack, a lot of challenges, a lot of jazz style, a lot of syncopated rhythms. Also, this is an incredible group of students to work with. They told me I had to say that. But they are. I can't believe this is our last tune we're going to play together. Here's Incredibles. Ellis 8th grade band. We have a quick scene change for our last combined piece, 7th grade. Hold on, we just got to set out a few chairs. right, 7th and 8th grade. 8th grade, just find your spots. 8th grade, move to where you need to go. 7th grade, start coming up. As we get set, a few quick words about instruments, since we're so close to the end of the year. If any school instruments need to come back right away tomorrow. If you rent from Music Mart or have your own instrument, those can stay home unless Music Mart instruments included in your rental is a summer cleaning. If you want to get sent in for the summer to get cleaned, let me know. Owned instruments, we could send those into MK Music to get a cleaning or a overhaul if you want as well. I know it takes longer to set up and to play the piece, but it's totally worth it. So in band, obviously we have all these different instruments. There's a certain section that kind of has a bad reputation sometimes. Sometimes, and anyone who's played an ensemble before, you may have seen this. The clarinets have this habit of, they have so many pieces on their instrument, they sometimes have a habit of starting to pack up early. You know, when it's like the end of class, I hear them like starting to pack up their instruments. They have like 9 pieces of their instrument. They have to swab it out after class, put the reed away carefully. Trumpets have a mouthpiece and a trumpet. They just throw it in the case and they're out of there. So this next piece is called Clarinets Packing Up Early. I told the 8th graders about this piece when they were in 6th grade, and they've been bugging me probably weekly for 3 years to play this piece. Specifically Ava. And this year I thought, wait, we have 22 clarinets at Ellis, so we're doing this piece. So here is almost a clarinet feature, Clarinets Packing Up Early. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. Please enjoy. 7th and 8th grade Ellis Band. Thank you, everybody. If you have a few extra minutes, this stage needs to be set for graduation in less than 24 hours, so we can use some help getting some stuff torn down. Students, as you leave, please flip your stands over. That saves us like 10 minutes of time. Thank you, everybody.